It's that time of year where my kids come home from school sick almost every single day. We keep them home from school for a little bit, they get better, we send them back to school a couple of days later, they're sick again. In fact, the day that I came to record this video, I sent my daughter to school with a little bit of a headache because she had one over the weekend, hoping, crossing my fingers, that she would have a good enough day and that she wouldn't get sick with something else. It's interesting as we think about the school systems and putting 30 kids in one room, how it would be impossible for someone who's sick not to share or spread some of their germs in another way. Looked at it a different way, when I was in junior high school, I was in Mr. Tuft's geography class. Now, Mr. Tuft was liberal in the seating chart department. The very first day, you could pick your very own seat. Instead of somebody assigning you where to sit, you could pick, which was awesome and we loved it. So I picked a spot at the center of the room, kind of where I like to be. I'm not a front row kind of girl, but I like to know that there's things going on in front and behind me. But Mr. Tufts also had an interesting way to keep behavior at the right levels in the class. You know, many teachers will write your name up on the board, and then if you do something else, we're going to give you a check mark. 3 check marks, we're going to call your parents or send you to the principal's office. Well, Mr. Tufts' system was a little bit different. He believed in the Pimples and Zits system, as if real acne was not bad enough as a teenager. But if you got caught talking, you got a pimple. If you got talking again, you got another pimple. 3 pimples were a zit. And then if you got 3 zits, he called your parents. Well, as my mom goes to parent-teacher conferences after the first semester in Mr. Tuft's class, he displays the seating chart. And he shows me that has the very most zits of the entire class. My mom did not think that that was an award I should be grateful to receive. But Mr. Tuft's point was not just that I talked more than anyone else, but that I wouldn't keep it to myself because all of the people around me also had pimples and zits. His point was that they're not bad, I am. I'm the one who's talking all the time. I think that we should be spreading more of these wonderful positive things. Now, perhaps you don't want teenage acne, or maybe you don't even want my kids cold. But what are the things that you're spreading? What are the ways that you're spreading goodness and happiness in the places that you work, in the places that you live, and even the places that you frequent, where you may not know anyone? As we talk about spreading good things, what are some things that you can spread that are good? Now, as we have this conversation often on my page, The Happiest, one of the things that people talk about a lot is that some of those things feel outside their comfort zone. They don't want to smile at a stranger or look the cashier in the eye and say thank you when they take their receipt. Those things seem a little bit weird or abnormal. But it's interesting, as you give someone eye contact, you see them on an entirely different level. And one of the things that I wish we would spread a whole lot more is the way that we see each other as humans, as people, and as individuals who really are just striving to live in this world and figure out how to do it as we go along. So what are you spreading? If you were to walk down the street, would people be able to know your tone, your attitude, or the current state you are in, that you're in for the day? Are they seeing the good things, or are they seeing only the bad? My challenge to you is that as you consider different ways that you can spread good things, that we need to be spreading more, and not just a little bit, and not just within our comfort zone, but outside of our comfort zone. So think about that. Join the conversation with us on the Happiest page. Share with us the ways that you're going outside of your comfort zone and spreading good things. I think that social media is one of the best things that has happened to the world, but can also be some of the worst. Sometimes we share only the best news, and there are some people who share only the worst. But social media is one of those things where at your fingertips, you have the opportunity to share the most good. You might only influence or have a team of 10 that work with you in your office. You might only have 3 or 4 kids, or maybe even you live alone. But at your fingertips, you have the opportunity to share and spread good in powerful ways. And how are you using that microphone? So as you think about both the small and concerted one-on-one efforts and ways that you're spreading good and positivity, think about the ways that on bigger levels you can spread it as well. And what can you put out in the world that will help make people feel stronger, that will lift people up instead of tear them down, or that will be positive in a world and a sea of all kinds of things that are depressing. I hope that you'll take on the same thing, and while we won't be passing out zits or colds, that you'll be sharing great and wonderful things to help others find the best and the joy in their life. Have a great day and make it happen.